Thank you, Madam Chairman, and I think it's important to note that this morning we not only have the nominee here to be the Deputy Secretary of Energy, and whose background clearly has been focused in nuclear, but General Scowcroft has been, I think, very instrumental as we have helped, or as we have worked together to try to come forward with a proposal as to how we deal with our nuclear waste. Senator Feinstein mentioned the efforts that this small group of us have had over the course of several years, and now looking forward to working with you, Madam Chairman, and how we advance that. So I think Dr. Sherwood-Randall, you're on notice here this morning that this is a key interest to many of us, not only here on the committee, but really from a broader perspective here within the Senate. It is, I think, quite significant that you have been introduced this morning in quite glowing terms from such prestigious individuals as General Scowcroft, and of course the leadership as demonstrated by Senator Feinstein over the years. I do think it is good, Madam Chairman, that we have been able to schedule this hearing this morning to consider the nomination for Deputy Secretary of Energy. This is the #2 position within the department. And Dr. Sherwood-Randall, welcome before the committee. I appreciate not only your willingness to serve, but to serve in a new place, a new capacity. I enjoyed our visit where we were able to sit down. I'm certainly very impressed by your qualifications. Your background at Brookings, the Department of Defense, Council on Foreign Relations, as has been mentioned by others, are quite significant and impressive, and now working on some very difficult issues as a senior member of the National Security Council. So I'll repeat the question that I asked when we were visiting in my office is why pick the Department of Energy for your next stop? But I will say that I am glad that you have, particularly with our current Deputy Secretary Poneman departing this fall. We don't often discuss the nuclear side of DOE in this committee, but it is clearly a critical and an important part of the department's mission. And I think with your expertise on nuclear security and non-proliferation, that this can be an asset to us on the committee. If we can confirm you in a timely manner, I would like to think that we've got a seamless transition in front of us. But a couple things have to happen in order for that to happen. First, you need to do well here this morning and provide substantive answers to our questions, outlining the direction that you believe that the department should take, as well as your substantive views on important issues such as energy exports. But secondly, and perhaps a little more complicated for you because you can't necessarily control that, and that is you're going to need to navigate a floor process that has not been very kind to our DOE nominees. Our committee has reported 7 nominees for DOE who are still pending on the executive calendar. They're yet to be considered or confirmed. Some were reported out of this committee as far back as January. By my count, only 1 individual has actually been confirmed to DOE this year. We recently saw a nominee withdraw after she decided that it just wasn't worth the wait. But it clearly doesn't have to be that way. The majority can bring up any nomination for consideration at any time. We saw that with 2 recent FERC nominees. They barely spent a week or so waiting. We certainly cleared a lot of judges this year and a lot of officials for other agencies and departments, so perhaps we can maybe take a little breather from that and focus on DOE for a change. I think that Secretary Moniz needs to have a full team around him, and I want to help support him in that. So, Dr. Sherwood-Randall, I'm hopeful that you will persuade us here this morning that you are the right person to take over as Deputy Secretary. You certainly have impressed me. And when it comes to the Senate floor, I'm also hopeful that we'll see some effort to confirm those who are willing to serve there at the Department of Energy. With that, we'll look forward to your responses. And again, thank you for joining us this morning and your willingness to serve.